Hey everybody, I'm Garrett.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we're Diary of a Family.
And we're living life intentionally with you. And today, we've got some wonderful guests here. We've had this wonderful couple on before. This is Richard and Hope Marx from X Marks the Spot. So we're excited to interview them again today.
All right, thanks.
News.
What?
We
What?
talk one at a time, don't we? Go ahead.
What's your news?
We are hijacking your channel.
No way.
today. Yes.
What does that mean?
We're going to hijack. We're going to interview you.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
And
So-
they have not pre-planned the
questions.
questions.
No.
It's a surprise.
It's a hijack. We didn't know.
I'm scared.
I have questions here. What we're going to do is ask your favorites.
Oh, okay.
What are the favorites?
Favorites.
Yeah.
Have to dig deep.
Since
for
you've been
that.
full-time.
Okay.
So, what has been the favorite lake that you've been to?
Okay.
And why?
Okay.
Since we've been full-time?
Since
Sure.
you've been full-time. Is it the most recent lake?
I was
Probably
going to
the
say
most
most recent probably is going to...
Lake Tahoe has definitely been the nicest lake and the most scenic lake that we've been to. I mean, we've been to a lot of lakes in Texas and they're like, yep, that's a lake. And it's brown. All right.
Lake Meredith was pretty up in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
We tried some boondocking there. That was our first kind of boondocking experience. But it was in the hundreds. So
Yeah.
it was a bit miserable and there were a lot of partiers around, but I felt like even though I had to drive like an hour from work to get there, that it was kind of like an escape from reality. We weren't in a campground anymore. We were like out on a lake side. I mean, we pulled onto the grass and set up. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But I have to say that Tahoe was spectacular. So one was too hot, one was too cold.
Yeah.
All right. Good choice.
Yeah.
We're spending the whole summer there.
Awesome.
Yes,
So-
Tahoe is going to be gorgeous for you.
What is your favorite secluded site?
We haven't been to too many yet.
I think secluded site, I mean, probably like boondocking.
I know, but what secluded spot?
What secluded
So,
site?
Label it.
I think the Agua Caliente BLM was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
There was like one other person out there. It wasn't too far away from work for you, but there was a million rocks that the kids were fascinated with, and
Little agates.
agates, and it was just out of the way.
It was really just, it was desolation, but it was a calm desolation. It was a little bit different than on the other side of the mountain there, where we were camped a lot of the time at
Saddle
Mountain BLM. There were a lot of people in and out of that spot. It was very popular.
But it was
So
also
not
like
so
it was
secluded.
also like 10 minutes off the highway, whereas Agua Caliente was about 30 minutes off.
Way
the highway.
off in like
Was there any
farming
hot water?
country. Nope.
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 They just call it agua.
That's the
name.
road.
That's the name of the road.
The name of the road that it's off of, Agua Caliente.
Is that where your brother came and visited?
No,
No, that was Saddle Mountain.
Saddle Mountain, yeah. I had one in mind. I was thinking, but now I can't remember it because you reminded me of Agua Caliente.
I want to go back there for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we only stayed one time. We were thinking of going back, but then it worked out that we just stayed more time with our friends at Saddle Mountain. So.
All right. Well, that's a good choice. I mean, that's going to give us some ideas of where to go too.
Yeah.
So Agua Caliente is southwest of Phoenix.
Yep.
Your favorite creek or river that you camped by,
Oh, that we've camped by. Have we camped by a river?
or been to?
Or that you've been to, yeah.
We've done so much camping on in Louisiana and Texas, and a lot of the stuff there is like we were either not close to any kind of river. I mean, probably the nicest would be the Truckee River.
The Truckee River's here, yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Although, think about the river that we were at. So we weren't able to fit our rig into the national forest around Mount Rainier. What is that campground there? Do you remember what it's called? It's a long Indian name.
It's a county.
It's an Indian name.
Yeah.
The
But there was a river.
The campground was on a river, and we hiked out to it a couple of times. we borrowed somebody's little trailer.
Well,
to
and
do
that was the camping trip that inspired us
No.
to.
It was the second one. We had already bought our trailer. It was sitting on the lot.
It just wouldn't fit in that campground.
It wouldn't fit in that campground. Yeah.
Well, here we're on the Truckee River, and this morning I saw a stand-up paddleboarder come through those rapids right down there.
No way.
The
Yes.
water's flowing
And-
so fast.
Yes,
You guys have
twice.
some great
he was
core.
he was standing up, and twice he got down on his knees and held on with both hands because the river is really high
It
right
is
now.
really
Yeah.
high, really rushing. Garrett, it's right outside of the National Forest. Rainier National Forest. What is it? It starts with S?
And it ends in ish.
Aunt and
Everything
Uncle go
ends in
there every
ish.
year. The one where Emma met her pen pal.
Ohana Prakash.
Yes. Not S. Starts with O.
That
Ohana
was,
Prakash.
Ohana
So the
Prakash.
river.
That's in the national park, though.
I know. So the river that goes through there. That was really pretty, and you could hear it from our campsite.
What about your favorite meetup with people?
That's a toss-up because I've loved all our meetups. What do you think?
Our very
There's been
first
several.
DFAM meetup was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it
Being able
was.
to finally meet you guys and the LaRues at the same time.
I think it was the
It was
high
awesome.
of, oh my gosh, we actually have a meetup.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like planned, but you guys wanted to see us, so that was really cool. I think like the biggest meetup we've been to would be
Balloon
Port.
Fiesta.
Quartzsite.
Would it be courtside or would it be a full-time family rally?
Well, there was less
Well,
people
that's
at
a
I mean,
rally.
overall, there's more people
So
at
rallies-
Quartzsite.
A rally
not-
is different.
okay.
A meetup is like there's no agenda, people are coming, you don't have to sign up for it.
Right.
You go
Meet
and
up.
you hang out.
Yeah.
A rally is completely different, and we've only been to one rally, so
And we've only been to one rally,
Yeah.
but lots of meetups.
Yeah.
Most of them with you.
we must be that special.
You are. Family. DFAM.
That's
Well, I
right.
think you only meet up one time because after that, then your family.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, your favorite big campground?
Like Texoma.
Yeah.
Lake Texoma?
Lake Texoma, it
That's
had
a
the
really
nicest.
nice camp
It was probably the nicest 1,000 trails
that we've been to.
that we've been to.
No.
Leavenworth was really nice too.
Leavenworth was really, really nice. I'm kind of thinking like Lake Texoma was the nicest in Texas, but we've been nicer places. And I would say, yeah, either Leavenworth, and that was 1,000 trails,
Yeah.
And that's in
that's in Leavenworth,
Leavenworth,
Washington. Yeah.
Not Kansas.
Is there Leavenworth, Kansas?
Yes, that's
Yes.
where the national. This is
Prison.
Where the military prison is at.
I'm like, what?
You have to clarify.
What about Tall Chief? I mean, Tall Chief was gorgeous.
Tall Chief was pretty nice, but it wasn't like full hookups. I don't know. There was.
I think Tall Chief was absolutely gorgeous, and there was a
Yeah.
pool and everything. And
There was a pool, but we didn't get to get in.
I know, coronavirus.
Okay, your biggest or favorite surprise that you've had along the way?
Good surprise?
Good surprise.
Oh, okay. What do you think? A good surprise.
Probably how caring and generous our community is.
That's true. We've been blessed financially so many different times when we weren't even looking for it.
Yeah.
I could definitely say that it's kept us afloat too. I mean, we have family that we could ask for money for, but we hate doing it. And the DFAM has just like they just want to bless us, and I'm always shocked when that
We want to
happens.
be
I'm
honest
always-
about what we're going through, but we're also not being like,
I
we're
know.
asking for money, we need help.
We're not asking for money. We just want you to know, like, this is what's happening. And so many of the DFAM are blessed with a generous heart,
Yeah.
and it's been wonderful. We hope at some point to be at that point where we can be that generous heart.
Cool. So your favorite surprise actually came in a difficult time.
Yes.
Yeah, Yeah, it did. Just thinking about having only a few dollars in the bank. We had a job but didn't have a paycheck for another week. This was Phoenix, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody given Garrett $100 and he got groceries with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even know until later. But just shocked at that kind of, that's been a great surprise. The community is amazing.
What about your favorite beach?
Gulf Shores.
Gulf Shores.
Gulf Shores.
Even though we did burn really bad.
Oh, we got so burned, you guys. We were so
my
Northwest
entire skin was
naive.
like the little bubbles underneath the skin with the water.
That's painful.
Oh yeah.
It is painful.
It was
so the next time we do like some of the tropical places, I mean, even
We'll
in
do like morning and evening beach time.
yeah, and sunscreen slathered on constantly. But we were not smart on our very first day, and we stayed out like the entire day.
And we found out there was SPF 120. Or
Is there really? I didn't even
It
know
was-
it
There's
was
SPF 100.
anything
100.
over 50.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
we've
We've had 70 and 80 in our house, and
Yeah.
we found 100.
Yeah.
But, at the time, we only had like SPF 35 or something like that.
Yeah, it didn't do well out
It
there.
didn't. No.
All right, best beach, Gulf Shores.
Gulf Shores, yeah.
How about favorite night sky? The view of the stars.
Oh my gosh, there have been so many,
Really?
so many sunsets.
Well, sunsets.
Sunsets?
Well, sunsets and evening stuff. I think Arizona
Yeah,
is still our favorite
yeah.
as far as sunsets, and then being out there in the BLM, it's so far away from everything. There's very little light pollution,
Yeah,
and so you can see the night sky.
Grand
Very
Canyon
well.
night sky was
Grand
pretty,
Canyon was great.
and Phoenix night sky was gorgeous. Yeah, there's just not a lot of population out there, and so it gets so dark.
Lots of stars.
Yes.
Lots of stars. I wish we had one of those cool telelens for our camera, so you could really like see it.
See it.
Yeah, the
Can you do
photos don't
a
this.
time exposure with what you have?
I can do a nighttime time lapse with my GoPro,
Time lapse.
and I did one already.
Out of his truck window.
Out of my truck window.
I'm like, set it up on the roof next
It was
time.
pretty cool.
Tie
You
it
could
down.
still see the stars kind of like moving around.
We'll get a good
However,
time
but
lapse.
we'll get a good time
We
lapse,
will.
and we'll show
We
that.
promise.
Now.
We promise.
All right. Favorite wildlife encounter?
Oh,
Besides the cows that were. Well, the
Cows could be it.
cows brought the flies, and I didn't like the flies.
he hates the flies. We've had lots of encounters with flies. For Emma's birthday, not
Oh,
this
yeah.
April, but last April, we went to
An exotic.
an exotic sort of like petting zoo farm, and it was in the on the Texas side, or was it still in Louisiana?
It was on the Texas side, but I mean, you could go 100 yards and you were in. Well, it was on the Louisiana side, but you could go 100 yards and you were in Texas.
Anyway, they had this baby alligator, and Emma got to hold it, and I got to hold
Aw.
it. It was so cool. I mean, of course, jaws taped shut. That's the safest way to hold them. But we've seen tarantulas in the wild, and you know, I'm not one that wants to have the tarantula crawl on me, but to watch it in its natural environment is just so cool. And
Did you know they can jump 6 feet?
She's scared to death of tarantulas.
Straight up. They can
And they
jump
don't even-
6 feet.
Like, they're docile.
so Edison threw rocks at one of them before I could stop him, and it ran, but because it saw our shadows, it ran towards us. So it was trying to hide underneath rocks or bushes or something. So all the kids ran screaming away. I'm like, you're okay, it's fine. But yeah, we've seen tarantulas in New Mexico and Texas. I think we saw one in Arizona too.
Yeah.
Not
The
as
park
many as
in the
thought.
park in Amarillo had buffalo, but that was also in captivity. But like wild, not too much.
We've seen horny toads. Those are really
Oh,
cool.
I've never seen one.
Yeah, so in Texas we went to Alabate's Flint Quarry. Alabate Alabate Flints.
Alabate's Flint Quarry.
Quarries. That's where it is.
Yeah.
There's always that S that I'm trying to
It's
figure
a
out.
national monument.
Yeah, national monument, and you have to take a tour. The tour's free, so you have to be guided to the Flint quarries, and they're super, super, like, you can reach down and touch the rocks, but you can't pick them up and move them because they are part of the history of the place, and like people from thousands of years ago quarried out the flint to use as tools, and they left those
Like
chips there.
arrowheads
So they're
and-
like,
yeah.
don't touch them. You can walk on them, you can look at them, touch them, but you can't pick them up and walk away with it. You can't even take a stick. Edison had a stick, and he wouldn't let him have it. But we saw horny toads there. They're actually a lizard. They're not a toad.
And they used to be prolific. They used to be everywhere. When I was a kid, we saw them all the time. And now there are very few.
Very, very few. We were lucky to see the one that we did. On that same trip, we saw a black widow spider. That was my first. The ranger knew where it was. They had found it a couple of weeks ago, and he wanted to show us where it was. And it was tucked underneath one of the benches in one of the resting spots, because it's a good mile and a half hike, and you hike up and then you around and down. So they have quite a few resting spots so that you can stop and rest during the tour. And he was quite interesting, sharing all kinds of history, like that whole valley where Lake Meredith is. They suspect that it was once like very full of water, like, and at times it has flooded to the point where he's like, yeah, that would have been underwater, all that green spot down there.
Well, speaking of water, I don't think we could narrow this one down.
Okay.
No, we couldn't.
Favorite waterfall?
We haven't been to
We haven't been to
the
a
big
lot.
one.
We haven't been to Niagara. We haven't. Well,
We can't wait to get to Niagara, but we've seen it on video.
But I
Well-
mean, that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Whether you
Snoqualmie.
had to hike or you didn't have to hike.
Snoqualmie Falls, probably.
Yeah.
Snoqualmie or Multnomah Falls.
I was going to say, for me, it was Multnomah more than Snoqualmie.
I've only been to Multnomah like twice, but I've been to Snoqualmie multiple times, and it holds a special memory for me because we have friends who have a cabin up in the pass up there, and we would drive through there and stop at the falls every summer and hang out at the falls for a little while and then head on up for our summer vacation at the cabin. So it's really special, that whole little town in there, and North Bend. Yeah, that's why I like it the most. And we've done it like as newlyweds. Our first night was
our
at the
honeymoon
lodge
was
there,
at the lodge
Oh,
in
cool.
Snoqualmie.
and then we went up to Leavenworth after that.
Yep.
Yeah, we honeymooned in Washington.
I think you may have already answered this one,
Okay.
but boondocking or dry camping site, your favorite boondocking site? Was it Saddle Mountain or was it?
Well, we really loved Saddle Mountain overall, except for the inordinate amount of flies everywhere. We
Just
loved
outside of Grand Canyon, we only
just
stayed
outside of
one
Grand
night.
Canyon was really nice.
There's a
Some
forest
forest
road
road.
right, like, just on,
I mean, literally
like,
at the
right inside,
there's
like,
that
just
like
before the
roundabout
town. Yeah.
when you come into the town, Tucsonia or whatever,
Tucsonia.
and then you go like turn right onto a forest road right there.
Yeah, so it's super close to town. There were only a couple of rigs that we parked with, but I could tell that there were more
The
people
road
had
went
gone
up for a
further
while.
in.
Yep.
It was a little noisy during the day because they had the helicopter rides over the Grand
Oh,
Canyon, and they kind of circled right
They
over.
were landing right there, so they were probably about 150 feet above your head.
Where those helicopters land, there is a campground there, and I tent camped in it one time.
Noisy, huh?
Oh my gosh.
But the kids thought it was great because they could like, oh my gosh, there's a helicopter, and see it right out their window as it flew over us. It was great.
Yeah.
All right. How about your favorite random conversation with a total stranger?
Total
It's
stranger.
a total stranger.
Somebody just said hi and stopped at your campsite. Somebody you met on the road at a gas station. Just most interesting, favorite, random stranger conversation.
All I'm thinking is Desert Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Desert,
it's-
is he at the dump station?
It's
Dump
probably
station at BLM.
it's
at
probably
the
not my
Saddle Mountain.
favorite, but it's the one that comes to my mind because he's hilarious. Like, I think the first time we met him, he wanted to just chat and chat and chat and like everything from politics to his newspaper that he was starting and all kinds of things.
The fact that the county's trying to shut him down, and
it was just like, wow, you're going in depth and we're complete strangers to you. And then
he doesn't get a lot of visitors
we have
during the winter time.
we have a friend who was also camping out in that same area, and later on she told me that he had asked her to dinner and said, oh, you can bring all your kids, all 7 of them that were with her at the time. She's like, man, he's so starved for like any sort of relationship right now that he's willing to take on all 7 of my kids. Anyway, she had to turn him down. She's married.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
All right. Favorite kid-friendly campground?
Mm. This
Kid-
one's been pretty.
Like, we've been to the Jellystone,
Mm.
and which one? It was the one in Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
And I would have
Kid
to...
friendly. Our it's hard to say. Like some of the ones that have had a pool, that's been really nice, but we couldn't necessarily let them just go outside and play. This one's been pretty kid friendly because we feel like we can let them go, and we can usually find them at the playground right across the way here.
Yeah.
We can actually see them from the doorway.
Well, and they're getting a little more camp savvy.
It's true.
So
That's
they
true.
are-
Too. I don't know. I guess when it comes to being kid friendly, it was actually the rally.
Yeah.
That was like by far, and it wasn't even a campground. It was a parking lot, you guys, surrounded by
The fence.
chain link fence.
So it was a full-time family.
It was a full-time families rally.
Hence the shirt she's wearing.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there we go. All the kids were basically told, you stay inside of the chain link fence and you'll be safe, you'll be fine. And then we added on to our kids, you stay outside of everybody else's trailer, because there were like 48 rigs there.
Oh wow.
If they had like wandered far away, if they were inside a rig, we'd never find them. But as long as they stayed outside in the play area right out front of
You could
people's
just walk
doors,
down the
you just
road.
walk down the rows, and then you'd be like, oh, there's my child.
And most of the families had the same rule too. So all the kids were like, okay, we don't go in anybody else's trailers.
Yeah. And then there were messaging back and forth, so we were able to update a parent, hey, so-and-so's in my rig,
Whose kid is this?
and take a photo. But there were, activities for the kids to do. There were so many friends, so it felt like they were always gone. The kids were gone playing with someone. I mean, I would miss Emma and Timothy after an hour and a half, and I'm like, where are they? They're out playing. They're having fun. So it was very much like living in a village, and you could trust everybody because everybody had the same intent that you did, to make an environment that was safe for the kids.
Do you have plans to go to any more rallies?
Oh my gosh, yes.
We want to.
We want to. Finances and timing, and then coronavirus.
I think once our travel is more flexible,
Yeah.
and we have the ability to just say,
We're
okay,
gonna
for
take
this
a month
month we're
off,
gonna
yeah.
go and we're just gonna travel,
Yeah.
or we're just going to spend 4 months and just work a couple weeks here, work a couple weeks there, to just finance our trip and then go explore.
They've done rallies up to
Yeah.
Alaska, which we want to go to Alaska.
Yeah.
They've
It's
done
on our
rally.
bucket list, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've done rallies down to Mexico, which that would be fantastic. I would love to do that with my kids. They have them in Florida, in Texas, all over the place. So we would love to experience more and get to know more full-time family members.
Well, that's all the questions I have. Do you have any other favorites to bring up?
Top favorites.
I wish we could have said more about this area.
I know.
It's so beautiful and it's so great, but because of the fact that we just were
So, favorite location for contract? I don't know. I think each one had its novelty and its specialty. Louisiana was our first, and we actually found a really good community, like church community.
Yep.
So we have friends that are still in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But it got pretty hot. Texas was a different sort of like, I liked working at the hospital. It was a really great contract. But the wind was crazy there and the heat was extreme.
Well, I mean, we found an RV park that was like the cheapest we've ever experienced. It was what? I think it was
$375
$375
for the month. And laundry was free.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
full
it was
hookups.
45 minutes away from her
It was
work.
45 minutes from everywhere.
45 minutes from everywhere. So I mean, we were going through gas like crazy.
Yeah.
So I think we actually saved money when we moved into town.
Yeah. Oh,
And stayed at the RV park
stayed
there.
at the Big Texan
The
RV
Big
park.
Texan.
I think Phoenix was the one that we had the most friendship time
Yeah.
and got to meet so many people because we did a lot of boondocking in that favorite location and we kind of drew a whole group to us. But I think Reno has been, I don't know, I liked the contract. The contract was phenomenal. I would come back just for the contract. It was such a great environment to work in. And we had some good friendship time with the Stevens and having you guys come as well. It's been very special these last few days. I was thinking to myself, and Garrett was agreeing with me, I'm pretty sad today because
Yeah.
this is it. This is the last day that we're hanging out.
Yeah, but
here.
we'll see each other again down the road.
Yeah.
We will. It just, we're not ready to part. We're not, I mean, the Stevens aren't
We had
ready to leave
mentally
yet.
prepared to at least
Be
be
here.
for 3 months.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, we're going to hang it out. And we're about ready to go to another RV park together. And
Yeah.
we got it all worked out. And then everything was like,
So we were hoping that things would open up and we'd be able to start exploring as a group, and it didn't happen really, other than being able to drive out to Lake Tahoe. But, so each contract has been, there's ups and downs for each location.
Well, thanks for letting us hijack your channel.
You're welcome. Thank you for
And-
doing it.
I think it was fun,
yeah.
Yeah.
and it took the pressure off of us, I think.
I loved it. That was such a great idea. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this past half hour as we were hijacked. Hopefully you enjoyed this impromptu interview.
Yeah.
Thank you to Richard and Hope Marx for interviewing us. And you're on Instagram and
We're on
Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook, xmarksthespot.rv.
We will link
Fantastic.
them down in the description so you can go check out their social media.
They're going to be at Lake Tahoe all summer long as campground hosts. And
Our first
very first
effort
camping.
at that.
Camp hosting, huh?
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes this summer, and I'm excited to see all of the beautiful scenery that you're going to post.
I watched some videos today about, I think it was the 17 top things to see in Tahoe.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh. We'll see if you can get to all 17.
Yeah.
Or find your own to add to the list, right?
What's open and not closed.
Yeah.
If you like these interviews and you wanted to see more interviews that we've had with other RVers and YouTubers, check out the link in the description for our playlist that has our interviews that we have done.
Oh, we've had
And we've
so
even
many,
interviewed this lovely couple here
so
as well.
many cool interviews that we have done with Living Light RV and who else? Driving
No-
and Vibing.
No
Kyle.
Ordinary Path.
No Ordinary Path. We've had so many awesome YouTubers on our channel.
We got our channel back.
Hi, DFam.
And you guys thought we were live. Just kidding.
Oh, with as much as X Marks the Spot was commenting on the feed, I think everybody figured it out.
Thank you so much for X Marks the Spot for hijacking our channel.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing it.
We're going to keep it in our back pocket, like our arsenal, and maybe we'll hijack somebody else's channel at some point. That'll be fun.
Keep your eyes out. Oh, wait, we kind of have to be in person for that, don't we?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Thank you, Melanetti, for putting X Marks the Spot's links. It's also in the description of this video, so you can go and check that out as well.
Well, welcome, DFam. We're going to run back through this chat because there's quite a few of you, and we'll welcome you all to the to the channel, to the room, to our live stream here.
Yeah.
This was pre-recorded yesterday. We had a chance to sit down with our wonderful friends, Richard and Hope, and we gave them a big squeeze hug before we left. Today we had to hit the road, and so that's why we're a little bit later getting on the live stream. Had some technical difficulties.
But we are super glad that all of you guys are here.
Clear your throats.
Even those from across the pond. Posh Cats, welcome.
Nursing our travel bugs on. They're driving right now. They're on a travel day as well.
Kent Peterson
Hi, Kent!
is on. I did not see Living Light RV.
Oh, well, Lisa's probably working.
Lisa's probably working. Mel and Nettie, of course, is on.
Yes, thank you so much, Mel and Nettie. And we miss you guys too. We miss our meetup with you guys we had in March. That was fun.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else?
So
is in
X
the
Marks the
room?
Spot is on, obviously.
No Ordinary Path jumped in.
Nomadic Ramblers.
Yes.
Sharon and Mr. Bobby.
Mr. Childers.
Mr. Childers.
Mm-hmm. And I hear you guys are at the Grand Canyon area.
That's pretty cool.
I love the Grand Canyon. Oh my gosh.
Music and Art on the Road. Mike and Trudy.
Yeah.
Are on.
We haven't seen Mike and Trudy since December.
Yeah. Daydream about nice things. Gary, nice to see you. Larry Marx is on. I'm assuming there's a relation between X Marks the Spot and Larry Marx.
Maybe.
Possibly. And Hello Gorgeous Life is on. Hello,
yes,
Suzanne.
We saw you as well. Did we get everybody?
Don Reimel is on.
Hi, Dawn. Good to see you on as well. And then your
my
mom.
mom is on.
I told my mom when I got off the phone with her that we'd be live, but she said, "Oh, I'll be driving. I'm sorry."
Kent says he's driving.
Oh, Kent's driving too. So Kent's driving. The Stevens are driving.
We were driving.
Not now.
Not now. No. We're in our house. It's all set up.
Okay, you guys. It is so windy. If you hear a bunch of noise in the background, it's probably the wind shaking the trailer.
Yeah, it's a pretty good.
But our travel day was
Short.
45 minutes long from one park to another, and we got a good window of time. And you didn't really run into any side winds, did you?
Mm-mm.
So that was good.
We kind of fell into a gap between windstorms.
It's gonna keep blowing all day.
Yeah.
So I want to let you all know that my contract was canceled, along with Natasha from Nursing Our Travel Bug. So they've hit the road because they have a new contract, but I'll let her tell about that because follow her on her channel.
Yep.
Her and Bill and their 2 kiddos hit the road. We gave them big hugs. It was very sad.
A month too early.
A month too soon. But we'll see them again on the road. Hopefully they'll come back our direction maybe, or we'll go find them.
Yeah.
And we are planning to stay in the area just one more week. We have plans to see Garrett's mom. She'll be flying in to see us, and an aunt that lives in the area. And we actually have been trying for the last couple of weeks to get to hang out with Tom and Lori from Tom and Lori's RV
Life.
RV Life.
Yep.
Is it RV Life? Okay. I always think it's RV
Adventure. I think
Tom
it's RV Life.
Tom and Lori's RV Life.
Yeah.
We could look it up to make sure. I don't know.
So, to answer your question, Mike, from Music and Art on the Road, we are heading to Washington after we're done here in Reno.
Yes.
So, we will plan on meeting up with you guys while we're there as well.
Super excited about that. Any of you in the Washington area, we're going to do a meetup. Regardless.
Yeah.
We'll do it in small groups. 6 feet apart. In the open. With masks. Maybe not the masks part. That's your option.
Your prerogative. Yeah.
It's going to be good to go home. We need to regroup a little bit. This contract cancellation has been kind of throwing us for a loop because we had everything planned out through even to the end of the year almost.
It definitely threw a big wrench into all of our plans. We had it all planned out and how we wanted to do it. And then all of a sudden they're like, by the way, you're canceled a month early. And we're like, what?
5 weeks of pay that I thought I was going to get. So we're tossing things around. My recruiter's working hard for me. We may pick up a contract in Washington and stay there for the summer. Garrett and I are figuring out how we can get him to his training program down in Texas.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to put that off. However, oh yes,
Melanetti just commented, "Love your haircuts." I had to give all my boys a cut. They were all so shaggy.
the one downside though is I can't flick my hair.
Did you guys notice what he was doing?
I was getting the
I think he did it on the last live. You'll have to go back and like review it and fast forward and see where you can find him going flick. I'm like, you're such a girl.
The hair was getting down to
You're
here
such a
and
girl.
into my eyeballs, and I was like, no, out of my hair. Out of my hair.
Oh my goodness. Yes, Hope says the wind really picked up after you left. The rig is rocking.
Yeah.
And it's been rocking here, but not like just every once in a while. And it only picked up once we got set up and probably like an hour after we got set up. I mean, it's been gusting, but not heavily. And then we've had a few really strong ones that are like shaking, and we hear something rattling up on the roof, and I'm like, are we going to lose our AC unit?
If it can withstand the highway speeds, it should withstand some speeds on the...
Yes, hello, gorgeous. Life has changed all over the country, so it's kind of a bit scary when you hit the road to take another trip to another location, because you kind of settle down and you know what's happening in your area of your sphere of influence.
Yep.
Whether churches are open or not, what grocery stores require masks or not, and if people look at you kind of strange if you're out and about with your kids. A lot of different things. So
I think overall our experience was, I mean, yeah, you had those people that were like looking at you, but for the most part, we weren't harassed by law enforcement.
The police were
great.
The
police here were great. Yeah. And I mean,
at one point they were in the RV park for something else. I think it was some medical issue or something like that. And one of the officers at the end...
Then there was a medical... That was the second one? Okay.
One of the officers at the end drove, like, he was the last one, and it looked like he was leaving, and then he turned his car around and came up our aisle because he saw, like, our kids and several other kids that were there. And he let him climb into his car and talk on the megaphone and get stickers, and he wasn't wearing a mask, and he was just like really kind of polite and didn't make us
let
feel
the kids
weird.
use the PA system.
I know, they
fun.
loved it. They loved it. So
Eddie didn't want to get out of the back.
Edison wanted to stay in the back of the cop car.
But you got to get out of the back, please. You don't want to live back there.
Anyway, Reno's been a good place for us to settle down, hunker down during this.
And you had a good
period.
exit experience with the hospital. So if we wanted to come back and do a contract once everything's more normalized with the hospitals, we can probably come back and do it again.
Yeah, I got a good reference from my manager. She was really sad that she had to let everyone go. But it is what it is. The hospital was hemorrhaging money, and they had to let the most expensive contract employees go first. So, so I don't know. We may come back to Reno. We may not. Although my allergies have just been so bad here, so I'm kind of glad to go back to Washington.
We could do like a fall time here, into summer, into fall, instead of springtime when everything's like.
So we'll see. We'll see if we come back through Reno just to check it out a little bit more thoroughly, or if we take another assignment. I must say I have liked working at the small hospital that I was working at. It was a good fit for me. Loved working with the staff. Anyway.
I think you might be doing a video collab or live stream with...
We haven't decided yet, but...
Nursing Our Travel, but kind of talking about...
So Natasha likes to review all the hospitals that she's had a contract at. And so she thought a collab with me would be great, because then you could get her experience at the big hospital and mine at the little hospital, and an overall experience of the cancellation. It's going to be kind of a negative effect, but I think every hospital system has had to probably do that to their employees.
Well, the nice thing is because it's so common and it wasn't no fault of any of the nurses, it's not going to look poorly on the nurses that got canceled because, I got canceled, but it's because they were running out of money and, they need to right their ship.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I was not canceled because I was a poor employee. They wanted me to stay. Anyway, so our plans are up in the air at this point, but we are for sure headed to Washington, at least to see family for a short amount of time. And then the question is, do we try to get a contract in Washington and just stay for the summer? Or do we hike it as fast as we can to Texas and try to find work in Texas? Texas in the summertime was not what we had planned.
It would be very hot, as a lot of you Texans know.
Yeah, so we have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of planning to do. But we'll keep you guys all in the loop. And our next video for next Wednesday, we'll talk about that at the end?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What else do we have on the list to talk about? I think that's it.
If you guys are wanting to join us with our fitness video, let us know. We're kind of closing that up. If you guys want to join us and submit a short 30-second to a minute-long video on what you guys have been doing to stay fit, then please do so. It's really simple, really easy to make, and we'll put it all together in a fun video for everybody.
Yeah, and if you don't want to even edit it yourself, you can just say, here's my raw footage. Garrett, do your work on it.
Yeah.
And it can be something silly, something fun, or like you're seriously, this is what you did for your workout during the coronavirus pandemic kind of shutdown time. So we're going to get working on that. You're going to start editing it, put it together on Monday so everybody can enjoy it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
X Marks the Spot wants to know, they are interested in knowing how many travelers were canceled. I don't know that number. I do know that there was quite a handful of Atlas employees working at Renown. I do know that several switched over to be core staff instead of continuing as travel nurses. But I don't know a full number of like who all was canceled. So yep, lots of people having been canceled. No Ordinary Path. Does John still have a job? I'm really hoping that he still does. We haven't heard anything, seen anything from you guys, but been praying for that.
I mean,
as well.
he is the superstar mega nurse. So why could they cancel the superstar mega nurse?
All you travel nurses, or all you nurses, period, you have to go and watch the channel Brickology. It's stop motion Lego, but it's done by a nurse in a nurse's perspective of the job. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
I enjoy it, and I don't understand 90% of what they I understand some of it, and I'm like, yeah, that would probably do it.
Anyway, it's pretty funny medical humor, all in stop motion Legos. So
yeah.
X Marks the Spot says, enjoy Asheville, and we hope you guys have a great experience in North Carolina. And that was to No Ordinary Path there over in North Carolina. You know, we want to go to North Carolina and see your sister and brother-in-law, our family.
I think we're going to try and be over there in a winter or springtime, but we haven't made a choice yet. I mean, because of
over there, COVID's kind of
because of how our plans are, we're trying to do those, get that training done so that I can do more work on the road, so that we don't have to do as many nursing contracts.
Superstar mega nurse. That's what John is.
Yep.
Yes, so the training that we're talking about is the RV technician program that they have in Athens, Texas.
Yep.
It is a national program and gets you a certification so that you can repair RVs as a certified technician. You can also become an inspector.
Yep.
And we're really hoping that Garrett can get that done sooner rather than later so that we have another source of income, because obviously nurses get canceled. Woo! Who would have thought?
Don Brimo says, where are you thinking to be over the winter?
So probably somewhere between Texas and Arizona.
Yeah.
Maybe partially in Texas and then head to Arizona. so that we can at least be in Quartzsite in January.
Our courtside experience was very, very short.
It was awesome, though.
It was great, but it was short. So next year we want to be able to go for a week or two. I don't know exactly how long, but we want to be able to go and experience it and just hang out with everybody there.
Yep. And who knows? Maybe you'll get some work there if you're already certified by that
I'm
time.
already certified. There's
Thousands of RVs all in one space. Somebody's got to have something that needs to be fixed, right?
Yeah. And if wherever we're hanging out and I'm a certified RV tech, let me know and I'll be able to help you guys.
Yep.
Not that I'm counting my eggs before they're hatched, but yeah. Or before they're chickens.
Well, he got up on the roof and screwed in one end of our awning that was starting to flap in the wind yesterday.
Yeah.
I noticed that there was like this little gap that I could see daylight between the wall of the RV and the slide, and I was the awning, and I was like, is that supposed to look like that? It does still have a little bit of a gap, but it looks like that's how it was. But there were a couple of screws that he had to tighten up. So, good job.
Thank you.
So yes, our plan is Quartzsite January 2021, and we'll be there for, who knows, 2 weeks to a month? I don't know. It'll be...
It all depends on a
Finances,
contract
yeah.
with you. I don't know
Yeah.
if they're going to want to sign a contract that's like a month off and then
We'll
come
see.
back in.
We'll see. I got to look at the timeline, and you can't count your eggs before they're hatched. So everything's up in the air.
Yeah.
We're living the life. This is it, guys. Sometimes things don't work out perfectly, and you have to be relaxed about it. Yes,
Yeah.
I do stress. Yes, we do stress. But
Even when
then we have to lay it down and be like,
Yeah.
it is what it is, and we'll figure it out.
even when equipment breaks.
Oh, guys, you guys, I went to an appointment on Thursday and got back in the car and drove it home, and it sounded horrible. And I was like, Garrett, something's wrong with it. So he used our little fix app. If you haven't seen that video, you should Google fixed, and our video will be at the top of the list. Anyway,
Probably not. but
plugged it
it's close.
in, figured out what was going on, some misfire in cylinder 2.
Yeah.
He
it was a
figured
cylinder
out
misfire.
it needs spark plugs. He went and got everything he needed, and he changed all the spark plugs in my car. And now it runs like a dream.
Well, there's one other thing I need to do, but I don't think it's as crucial as the spark plugs. Those are the biggest things that needed to be done.
Yeah. So there you go. You're getting to be quite the tech already.
Well, except for...
Oh, do you want to tell them about our problem?
So,
Our
one of the
issue?
reasons... I'll come clean with you guys. One of the reasons why it took so long to go live today was because I was editing... Well, not editing. I was rendering out the
Footage.
interview from my GoPro.
We shot the entire interview
I shot
on
the thing
GoPro.
in, 4K, 60 frames a second with a high bit rate, which is probably not really advisable unless you have a computer with 120 terabytes of data,
Well, or you're doing really short clips.
or you're doing very short clips.
We did a 30-minute interview.
30-minute interview on super high quality, which probably looked great for you guys. The reason why we did that is...
Well, he didn't change the things and stuff. But why we used the
is
GoPro.
this is no longer working.
Our baby is dead. He tried saving it.
Yeah.
It was
So,
in rice, and it was
there was
in
a-
with the...
So Monday night
Was a holiday.
Was a holiday. Carolyn had her Bible study. We were out chit-chatting and having a good time. And Carolyn's like, okay, make sure the food gets put away and the kids come inside and get ready for bed and all that kind of stuff. Well, I had recorded our day and, I was doing vlogging stuff. And I had set the camera down right next to where I was at.
On the grass.
On the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, every morning about 5 a.m., sprinklers come on that little patch of grass.
It was sitting in a puddle the next morning.
It was sitting in a puddle of water.
It was so wet when I found it the next morning. I had asked him when I'd gotten done with my Bible study, okay, did you get everything in? Yeah, just everything but the Legos.
My
And
brain
I'm
was just like,
okay, Legos are fine.
okay, food is in.
Kids are in.
Kids are in. Everything that she had asked to come in was in. But because I normally either put the camera on my lap or something else, but I set it right next to me because there's a nice little platform thing right there. But I totally forgot that it was there. And
he didn't like take the time that evening to upload the footage or anything like that, because then he would be like, where's the camera? I need to get that footage uploaded. And
the footage is fine, but I cannot. The camera body has been in rice and dry rid.
Yeah.
That kind of like
zipped in a Ziploc bag with dry rid.
For
and it
days.
hasn't worked.
For days, like all week,
No.
and it won't turn on.
Anyway.
So,
Garrett the mechanic, can you come back and change my oil? Says X marks the spot. You should have asked him yesterday.
I'm not an auto mechanic.
Kent is saying, so sad. He's sorry about the camera. So we've been like, well, how are we gonna? We have this huge series that we need to videotape. We're gonna have to do it on the GoPro, and now knowing that, oh my gosh, how long is it gonna take for him to render stuff out? But we'll just have to figure out the settings so we don't do it with such high resolution and
I can do it at a lower resolution and bitrate so that it actually looks decent. And I mean, that's a testament to how good a quality you can get out of this camera. But the fact is, like, if I got all the mods and stuff for this, it would be probably the same cost it would cost to get this thing working again. And we definitely prefer to use a mirrorless camera.
Oh my gosh, it's so much easier then.
This camera is amazing. We love it. It's awesome.
So
and we've already sent it back to get it fixed.
One time. So we've basically put $1,300 in the camera, purchasing the whole unit and then sending it in for fixing.
About $1,000.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're probably just going to buy another body and stick the lens we have on it, and we'll be good to go again.
Yeah. In the meantime, you might see a mix of stuff, but we are blessed to have a good camera that can be left out.
We've videotaped off our phones before, so we have 2 iPhones plus the new GoPro, so we won't not be able to.
The content will still be good.
Yeah. But we like our single unit with the microphone, set it up, point and shoot. And
you get that really cool depth of field and other stuff that looks really nice when you're making videos. So, that is our...
X marks the spots having a conversation back and forth here. Just ask me, it's always her fault. And Hope says, yes, it's always my fault. That is a given. I say it's totally his fault. I'm like, what? You left the camera out? I can't believe you did that.
It was 9 o'clock and we were putting the kids to bed.
I wasn't thinking about the sprinklers at all. Like, that was not in my mind.
We think about the lawn on Thursdays because that's when the maintenance people come out.
I would have gone out that evening and moved the Lego bin off the grass had I remembered that the sprinkler is gone. And then I would have seen, oh yeah, there's the camera. It's sitting right there by the Lego bin lid. Yeah.
I should have gone back out and take a look around, but I had made like 3 trips in and out, getting kids in, getting food in, putting food away, putting the kids to bed.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of things going on.
You were Mr. Dad, so yeah. Anyway, I was heartsick about it all day on Tuesday, and then I realized, you know what? It's just a little bit of a hiccup, and it's really not a big deal. Yeah. It's just a thing, right?
Yeah.
Just a thing. So, he's come clean. The sprinklers ruined our camera, and he was not able to resurrect it from the dead.
And the thing is I don't know if getting it fixed is going to cost more than just getting a refurbished body of the camera, or
we'll have to see.
I don't know.
We will have to see. So we'll keep you guys all updated what's happening with our jobs. Thank you all for those of you who are praying for us, and continue to pray for me about these headaches and this allergies. I'm suffering, and I've never suffered with allergies this bad before. Yeah. So I'm hoping getting out of this area might help getting back to Washington where there's more moisture.
I don't mind it, but it hasn't affected me the same way as affected Carolyn.
Except me being a grouch or having to take naps, and you have to take care of stuff.
Yeah,
All
that
right,
is
you guys.
always rough.
You guys, while he was like finishing up getting the video uploaded and getting it on for you guys, I was crashed out on the bed here,
Yeah.
napping. I was like,
We were most of the way through
need
the
to
interview
sleep.
when you decided to get up.
I need to sleep. I'm tired. All right, well, make sure you get your submissions in for the exercise video. Garrett needs that by tomorrow evening.
You can email me, and I will send you the link to the Google Drive, so that
And
you
the
guys.
email is...
We haven't got the other one all the way set up yet.
So just give him the old one.
RV, a diary of a family at gmail.com. It is linked in the description, so
And then
email us there.
he'll give you the Google Drive, and you can upload your video there.
Takes a couple minutes. It's very quick, I promise.
So get your submissions in so we can get that video completed and out for your viewing on Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty.
Oh, Mel and Eddie's giving us the thumbs up. Woohoo! Love you guys too.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And as always,
Live life intentionally. Bye, D-Fam.
Bye.
We love you guys.